Have you figured out your niche? Are you helping adding value to other people's lives? Then you're in the right place. Welcome to Munira's Musings with your host, Munira Zahabi.
Greetings from Chicagoland. This is Munira. Good morning, with a special edition with a special guest, Alicia Birong. Hi, Alicia. Thank you so much for being on Munira's Musings.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I am good. I'm good. As you know, that this show is a show where we showcase a individual who has found their niche. And you know, we want to hear your journey. We want to figure out what you're doing right now and what makes you do what you do. So welcome again, and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I live in Crystal Lake, Illinois right now. I've lived here for 15 years with my husband, but I have lived all across the country in 8 states. And as I tell everyone, I fell in love and packed my bags and came from San Diego, California for this amazing man. And I'm glad I am, because we celebrated 15 years this year.
Yay.
So, So
San Diego, California.
Huh?
San Diego, California.
California, yes.
Oh my God.
Beautiful weather, beautiful everything, except right now they have a lot of fires and stuff going on there, but I miss it. But I do have my Illinois friends and family, and really have been able to expand my practice. I am a pediatric life coach and hypnotherapist. I've been doing that about over 20 years. Started out in youth ministry, working with kids. I love children. I love working with kids and women. A lot of concentration right now on women and children. But the main thing that is my niche is children. And the reason why is because of my challenging experience as a kid. I lived in a very dysfunctional family. My mom, I found out later, was schizophrenic. My father was very absent in our lives. He was there, but he wasn't. So there were different kind of things happening in my family, and I ended up not being a very good student. I ended up being the keeper of the house, and so I wasn't the keeper of school. So I had a challenge with that. But finally, when I got into high school, I started working with young kids and helping others, and I really found that my niche was serving others, especially children and women. So I've done that in many ways. I was a youth minister for the Catholic Church for a number of years in diocesan positions. I also was trained as a therapist. I ran halfway houses, residential treatment centers for kids, a lot of different kind of things I've done. But on my journey, I ended up going to hypnosis school, and really was excited because when I worked in all these other places, I found that people weren't getting well, especially kids. And so when I learned the power of transformation of hypnosis, there was no one doing children's hypnosis at the time. And so I took everything I knew as a therapist and put it together with hypnosis and developed my own program, Pediatric Hypnotherapy, and began to work with a lot of kids. So that's really my specialty, and it's taken me on many roads. I tell the story of the day that I met Mother Teresa. And as a youth minister in New Orleans at the time, I was given the honor to be able to carry on the conference for over 100,000 kids to come and listen to her. So as I stood in the Superdome area, I waited for her car to arrive in this big limo, and then this little woman gets out, And you just look at her and you look in her eyes and you just see this uniqueness, this serenity of peace. And as we walked to the time with her to meet the kids, she was going to talk with all the kids that were going to be on stage with her. And my two children were there, and that was an amazing experience for them too. And so as she was speaking to the kids, she then came up to me and she touched my hand and she looked into my eyes and she said, "You've had a very challenging journey, but do it anyway. Just keep on going. Believe in yourself. Know that your uniqueness is special." And I really knew at that point that whatever my journey was to serve others, and especially kids. So I have continued that journey and continue to know that serving others is really what I want to do. And I do that in many ways.
What an amazing story. What's an amazing story. Yes, that's one person that if I had the chance to meet, I would have done it. Um,
Yeah.
she was very humble.
Yes.
And so
Really.
she had a purpose. She wanted to help the
Oh,
children. So
yeah.
let's talk about hypnotherapy. What does that
Okay.
include? For me, and don't laugh, because for me, hypnosis is when you go on a stage and people put you to sleep
Right.
and you do funny things. So
Right.
is that what you do? I mean, you're not asking children to do funny things, but
No.
you're
No.
calming them.
Yeah, so really, a lot of people think of hypnotherapy in a stage situation, but reality is it's the way you can compare hypnotherapy for children is like telling them a story. And that's really it. Being able to have them use their imagination and be able to calm themselves. And so I use hypnotherapy in a way of telling a story with a child, being able to get them to be calm, very much of, I really call it mindfulness now, because I'm really helping them be aware of what's happening in their mind when they have anxiety or they're pulling their hair or they're under stress or they have no confidence in themselves or they're having challenges in school. And a lot of it's just about all the stress is just pouring into all of us, especially right now in what's happening. And they're readjusting. But what happens is that their mind doesn't always catch up with what's going on. And sometimes for all of us, even as adults, I call it chatter. We leave chatter in our minds from the past. And so for kids, there's a lot of chatter there, and they don't know what to do with it. And through the power of mindfulness, I allow them to be able to listen to their mind and find out what's true and what's not. An example would be a child being bullied and somebody else telling them that they're ugly or they're not smart or whatever. And so then when somebody else says something to them that's nice, they have this conflict in their mind because this other person said they were this and then they're that. But reality is we all have choice. And and learning that they have choice early on in their life changes the whole dynamic of what their life is going to be like. And so I've used it in a number of ways. I now use it with my program called Chatter Girls. And we use what we call Journey to the Mind. That's what my program makes my program look different than a lot of other programs for young girls 8 to 14. 8 to 14 for girls and for boys is a time of development of confidence. And if it is not developed then you have what the experience I had as an adult. You're still dealing with it. The reason why I wrote Chatter Girls is very developed in this reason. One day I walked into my office and I had two clients. In one office, I had a woman who was 45. In the other room, I had a girl who was 12. And in each office, I heard the same thing. I have this stress. I have all this information in my head, and I can't move forward. I can't move forward as a student. I can't move forward as a businesswoman. Why? Because those thoughts that I have from childhood are still destroying me to the point that I have no confidence, and I'm 45 years old. Okay. And there's that young girl. So because of that, I decided I wanted to change the way the world looks. And so I developed Chatter Girls. Chatter Girls helping girls now in that development stage change the whole dynamic of what they look like in the future. I have a young girl right now who is a mentor for our Chatter Girls program, but she was her name's Annabelle, and she was one of the first Chatter Girls, the first ones when I started. Annabelle is now a senior. She talks about how the 5 days of Chatter Girls changed her life. How? Because she decided to let go of what everybody else said and be the person she wanted to be.
So this is something that's really coming up right now, because most coaches are talking about it as well, that, lose the chatter, forget the past,
Yeah.
let go of limiting beliefs that you've, instilled upon yourself. So with hypnosis, do you put them to sleep, or do you have a tape, or how does this work?
We have a couple of different ways we do it. In my office, they sit in front of a big screen and they watch all kinds of colors going on my screen, and I just talk to them and tell them a story. One of the stories is talking about their favorite place, getting them to imagine where their favorite place is. Like I said, it's just like reading them a book at night when they get ready to go to sleep, and they're trying to calm their mind so that they can go into a sleep state. Once they get calm and relaxed, then we begin to talk about whatever the issue is that's going on for them. But I allow them to find themselves in a calm place. They never go into a deep hypnosis like we do with adults. It's very much like meditation, visualization, relaxation. That's the best ways to describe it. So no, I do not put kids in like a stage trance at all. It's just very much we sit there as an adult and a child telling a story. Sometimes I actually, in the background, I have music going on. And so the certain music hits the brain and allows them to begin to calm down. We can actually do the experience while we're playing cards or talking or whatever. It's just a matter of that child getting ready to go to sleep is coming down to be calm, and we read them books so that they can go into their imagination. And that's what I do with Journey to the Mind and hypnosis with kids. So one key about this is no one can be hypnotized unless they want to be hypnotized, but everybody can be hypnotized. It's just your choice. The people on stage, if you ever watch the stage shows, they come out and they get all these people from the audience. Everybody wants to be quack like a duck, right? So, but as you watch the people and the hypnotist works with them, if you see they have assistant, and they might have somebody up on the stage, and then all of a sudden, if you look over to the side, that person has moved off the stage. Why? Is because they've come back to their conscious state and went, what am I doing? And so it's a situation of everybody wants to be able to be hypnotized up there, but there are many, many different ways to hypnotize a person, and children's hypnosis is completely different. And that's why I teach people how to do it, because it's very much like telling a story. And when we do Journey to the Minds, it's a matter of the girls are on the floor and I'm telling them a story about one of our topics. We might be talking about the mirror, or we might be talking about a mask that they put on, or even the chatterbox in their mind. And then we have experience of activities and discussions about that.
That's awesome. So do you work with groups or just individuals?
I work with both.
Both.
I work with individuals, I work with groups. I've done my program with different groups. I actually am selling Chatter Girls so that we can um, have Chatter Girls across the country. We have it in different areas. Some groups, there's a group in Naperville that has our group, the Fusion Project, and Michelle and her group has, because she works with the middle school kids. So I started 8 to 14. So now she uses this program, Chatter Girls program, to build into the growth of her group, the Fusion Project. So we've used it with kids who have autism and Asperger's and different issues. Chatter Girls can be used by everyone. I have a private practice and I work one-on-one, whether it's on the Zoom or in my office. So I have a number of ways that I work, and now I have the newest thing that I'm doing, which is what I'm really excited about to talk to you about today, is called Pediatric Life Coaching. And I started this program a year ago, and it's where I work with people who want to work with kids in a different way than therapy, but in a way of coaching. We found that coaching is very successful with everyone else, and it has been very successful with children. Why not empower our children to be able to take control of their lives early on? And so I am now teaching people in a 6-week course how to be pediatric life coaches. They do an internship with me, and they are given the skills to be able to work with children as coaches. Some people are using this program to add to their coaching program already. Some parents are just taking it so that they can work with their own child. Other people are taking it to use it if they work with kids in their churches or in different groups. I work with the Girl Scouts. I do a lot of different work with them and their troops. So I've been able to use this program in different ways, but we're starting again in October, and we'll be doing the program. If anybody's interested, please leave their name at the end, and I'll be able to communicate with you and tell you some more about it.
That's awesome. So tell me how people can find you.
Tell me about what?
How people can find you.
Okay, so you can find me if you want to know anything about me mainly. You can go to www.guidedchoices.com or on Facebook. We have a Facebook page. Also, I have another page, which is our www.chattergirls.net, which talks about Chatter Girls, buying it or signing up for it. I have a lot of my blogs on there. I write a lot of blogs, especially about what's going on right now in the world, and helping parents and different people deal with the changes that are happening in their homes and with the kids. I mean, I'm working with a number of children right now, and these kids are very, very frustrated, and I know the teachers are frustrated. So if children have self-confidence, then they're able to manage some of the things that we, the world, decide to do to them, and change everything. So, those are the places where you can get me. We talked a little bit about, I have a book called Changing the Chatter.
I have it too.
She has it too. And one of the special things about this book, when I wrote this book, it's really about myself, my own journey. We wrote it for moms, because it is helping your daughter look beyond the mirror. And we really want kids to look beyond that mirror, to look inside themselves. And so in the book, it tells a lot of things that we do at Chatter Girls that the moms can do with their daughters. But we also have affirmations in there. And the affirmations are great to be able to put on their screens these days to start their day off, to be able to just give them a new way of looking at it. There are 30 affirmations in the book. And
Yeah,
here's
I was reading them and I like this one, which is
okay.
I realize my uniqueness, I develop it, I celebrate it, I use it to fuel my self-esteem and to change the world. You know, that's amazing. I love this one. I mean, I've read all of them, but I loved this one because it's also part of what I do. And it's amazing where you teach the young girls to stand up on their own feet, think for themselves, and take a second look at why they're here and
Right.
empower themselves.
Right, empower themselves. And reality is what has happened with this and has happened with the books, and the feedback is a situation of the moms go, I need to tell myself that. And if I tell my daughter that and I tell myself that, then there's a new believing, a believing of changing myself at this point.
That's true. That's so true, because most people, I'm redoing the As the Men Think It. I'm reading that again, and James Allen says most people are anxious to improve their circumstances, and they're not anxious to improve themselves, right?
Exactly.
And
exactly.
as adults, we are now learning how to pivot from where we are. But I love the fact that you're laying the foundation right now as young adults, because they won't have this problem when they are our age, and they won't have to, they'll be ready to pivot at any given time, and they won't be as frustrated. So that's amazing what you're doing.
Well, and I love it. And there's a major context for me is that I have a granddaughter, and she is going to be 10 this year. And I listen to her. I got to have her this year for a month. And, she's done Chatter Girls twice. And I watch her, dig into Chatter Girls and listen and talk about the chatter that she has from friends in different situations. And reality is that her mom is amazing, and considering all the challenges I went through in my life, I am just so inspired by my daughter and to listen to her. And my daughter actually helped me write the book, The Part on the Mask. And but I watch my granddaughter, and I know that every girl that I work with is my granddaughter, is a situation of seeing an opportunity to help them change now and make that powerful future. The Annabelles in the world, of knowing that Annabelle will be different when she goes to college. She's different in high school. Her life changed differently. And I have hundreds of young girls who have done the program and have had that experience. But what I also have is that when I work with this program, I work with the parents and helping them learn how to talk to their daughters. So we have a special part in the program for parents, and being able to help them communicate. I can see a girl in my office come in and say, I'm not happy. But then you ask her and you listen to her and you're going, but you have this and you have this and you have this. Why aren't you happy?
Yes.
I don't know how to feel it. And that's the uniqueness that we find, is that they don't know how to celebrate their uniqueness. And so they don't know how to celebrate happy.
True.
All they have is all this other stuff packed on them, especially right now. So we need to be able to celebrate our children, but teach them how to celebrate themselves. They're going to be powerful women and kids in this future. They've already taught us how to do Zoom and how to do school on the internet, because they already knew the technology, and we were the ones who were far behind. What they didn't know how to do is the same things that we dealt with when we were a kid. I was bullied. I wasn't smart. I had a lot of kids who laughed at me. And I carried all of that and all my family stuff into my adulthood, and I made bad choices.
Because we don't know what how to make the right choices. We do what's right at that time.
Yeah. And now we can help those kids now. And so that's the power, because the world we're preparing for them now is completely going to be completely different than the world that we had. Let's not take the junk, the chatter, into the new world with them. Let's not let them take that in there. Let's give them new tools so that they don't take it into adulthood. That really is my message. I want them to be empowered and celebrate their uniqueness.
You are so wonderful for saying that. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, here we have Alicia Birong, who is working with children, and she is empowering young girls, right? Not boys.
Yes. No, I have boys too, but I have empowering working with boys in the office.
She's working with young adults, more so with young girls, because we as women carry a lot of chatter and we take junk into our lives. But you know, you have two opportunities here. One, if you have a child who needs help, contact her. Look for her on www.guidedchoices.com. And two, if you want to help children and you want to take her course, reach out to her, because she's looking to help people take their career to a next level. And if you like working with children, that would be the best thing ever. So, you know, it's amazing. And do you, let me ask you one more thing. Do people who want to go through your course, the internship that you're offering, is that something that you can do virtually, or do they have to come to school?
No, we're doing it all virtually.
Okay.
And so it's all virtually. So anyone in the country, the last class, I had a woman from Arizona doing the program. So it is a virtual program. We do all the classes. At this point, we're doing the classes live, but at some point the classes will just be a program that they can do by themselves.
Okay, awesome. So ladies and gentlemen, you know what? If you want to take your career to another level, looking for something else, go ahead and find Alicia, because you know what? It's amazing. If you like children, if you want to help children, this is the one way to do it. And thank you so much, Alicia, for being on the show. It's amazing. I know we've been trying to get together for a while, but it's finally, we did it.
We did it. Thank you so much. It is a great opportunity, and I really appreciate your time.
You are welcome. So for those of you who've been watching, and thank you so much for watching, and if you are watching a recording, or if you like what we have to offer, go ahead, share, like, and subscribe to our channel, and we will see you on Monday with a new guest. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Munira's Musings with your host, Munira Zahabi. If you enjoyed our show, please share and subscribe to this channel. And for more content, please join our Facebook group.